now participating in the India Kids Fashion Week in Mumbai.
Jai Shri Krishna dosto. If you are someone looking for investment in Indian kids apparel sector, this video is going for you only. दोस्तों, इंडिया इज फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी, हम सबको मालूम है. किड्स apparel industry in India has touched the mark of $24 billion by 2022, having an exponential growth of 15% CAGR with a target of $28 billion by 2028. 35 करोड़ 14 साल तक बच्चे, इतना बड़ा डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड, 75% ऑफलाइन खरीदारी और 25% we do have the market share of online platforms which are available in India. The first question is, how many players are there? Are they significant enough to deliver or to equal the demand of online in an Indian context? What are the advantages India is having for you as an investor? What are the challenges which already players are facing? The third one, how government is pushing this sector. So let's start. So the first is demographic dividend. As we have already talked, India is having a 35 crores, 35 करोड़ 14 साल तक बच्चे, जिसमें अगर if you look at the migration from rural to urban or rural to suburban is there around 18 to 20% per annum. The health and the comfort. My kid should not have any kind of health issues just because of I'm not able to choose the proper garments. So I look out the choices, I look out the comfort for my children. I cannot deliver to myself, but I will deliver it to my children. Second, seasons and sub-seasons. How fashion industry is pushing Indian people to change their fashion so frequently that India has adopted seasons into sub-seasons and again sub-seasons into the sub-seasons. Before we do have 2 seasons, winter and summer. Now we do have 4. People are choosing clothes for their children if they're going for the sports. Specifically, garments or the apparel should be good for their games and sports at that point. That is the one. The second, if you're going outside, your kid should match or the environment where you are having the presence. The third, presence of the social media. How this social media is driving this demand or driving this force? Yes, that's significant. Study says now the people are more engaged into the social media rather having the exploration of the outside with their children physically than the virtual reality. Children are also focused into the social media. They are also having that perks to put out their videos and the photos to make that ecosystem. But with new apparels, you know how this apparel, how this fashion is driving this force. That's huge. That's significant. Again, because what we have talked about, the difference in the offline and the online, the presence of both these are having the common players like a First Cry having 100 plus stores in India, coming up with the IPO. How many competitors are there for this venture? The question is there. Again, now people are also moving towards traditional to the modern, modern to the traditional. Both of these categories are available on the common platforms. You can buy a dhoti and kurta for your boy on the same platform where you can buy the jeans or the shorts or any of the garments, right? So there is no any segregation for this, but there is a demand. Again, so what we have talked about the advantages what India is having, that driving the force to meet up the demand, to attract the people in this sector. Now we will find out the challenges what India do have challenges in this frame. The first one is the supply of the raw material. India's dependency upon the imports of the raw material. The frequency of the change in the prices of the raw material having a huge impact, because these material come up in a huge volume as in a raw, turns up into the finished goods being operated for the people who are sitting outside and having a third party association with you, right? This is the second one. The ecosystem and the infrastructure for the Indian textile industry, the technology, the obsolete technology and the innovative solutions having a huge difference with respect to the financial or the capital expenditure, again to meet up or to eradicate this difference. Again, you need to have a reinvestment for that. But how government is pushing this sector? Government is coming up with 100% FDI. Government is coming up with the pacts with the countries like Japan to meet up this demand. Government is having the clearance of the single window for new startups, having the having the financial or having the capital of more than 3,000 crore rupees for rice union with the 30% subsidy for the women in this sector for a single state, right? And we do have a different states, and you can count with respect to that. So we do have the three things with us. First one is advantage, then we do have the challenges, and the third one we do have the contribution of the government, and the fourth, what should be the conclusion, whether still we do need the more players into this sector. Yes, there is always demand for more and more players to having the competition, but when new investors are thinking to invest, yes, there is a gray area. There is a huge demand in coming up new years, what you can meet. Second, whether we do need online presence of these people more than the offline. The question is always there, because without having the exposure, without looking at or without touching these things, there is a question whether I can choose the material for my girl or boy. So I think that's a still question for there. So thank you everyone, that's all. We'll meet in the next video with a new topic. Thank you so much. Keep watching.